Hey, there's our learning target. It says I can identify secants and find their lengths using the secant-secant theorem, or the blind man's theorem as I like to call it. Get it, blind man, secant-secant. Anyways, a segment that connects two distinct points on a circle is called a chord, and that's from the last video. So MN is a chord, QP is a chord. A chord that passes through the center of a circle is called a diameter. So a diameter is a type of chord that's special because it passes through the center of a circle. A line that intersects with the circle at exactly 2 points is called a secant line. So that's our purple line over here. That is a secant line. It intersects the circle at 2 points. Difference between a secant and a chord is that the secant will extend to outside of the circle. The secant-secant theorem, or the blind man's theorem, or the Stevie Wonder theorem, basically says external secant times whole secant equals external secant times whole secant. There it is abbreviated. When I say external secant, I am referring to the part of the secant that is outside of the circle. That's why it says external. When I say whole secant, I mean the inner part, so the inner secant, plus the external secant. So the whole secant is the sum of those two parts. Same thing here. Inner, say inner, get rid of that. Inner secant, so the whole secant, again, it's that's the whole secant. The inner secant plus the external secant. So say, for example, the inner part was 5. Say the inner secant was 5, and the external secant was 3. The whole secant would be 8. So again, if you just want to get the whole secant, just add the inner part and the external part, and you get your whole secant. So that's the secant-secant theorem. ES times WS equals ES times WS. Here are steps I'll be using for the problems I'm going to be working on in this video, and I'm not going to necessarily follow them in that order, so you could just think of these as some guidelines. All right, example 1. So I know that 6 is outside, so that's external. 7 is outside, so that's also external secant. The whole secant here is 6 plus 8, so that's 14. And the whole secant here is y plus 7, y plus 7. There's my formula. Plug in. So I get 6 times 14 equals 7 times y plus 7. 6 times 14 is 84. Distribute the 7 here. You get 7y plus 49. So you're just going to do some algebra here. You're going to solve for y, and you should get y equals 5. So y is equal to 5. Okay, example 2. In the accompanying diagram, PAB and PCD are secants drawn to circle O. PA equals 5, PB equals 12, and PD equals 15. Find PC is the question here. Okay, so we are told PA is 5, and that's the external secant. And we are told PB is 12. And this is super important that you realize. You are actually given the whole secant here. PB is the whole secant, so we're not going to add anything here to get the whole secant. We were given the whole secant here. Same thing with the PD. PD is the whole secant. and we are told that it's 15. And we're looking for PC, so I will label that X. There's my formula. Just go ahead and substitute. You're going to get X times 15 equals 5 times 12. You'll get 15x equals 60. And you're going to do some algebra, and you'll get x equals 4, which means PC is equal to 4. Okay, last one. This one might take us a little longer, but our external secant is over here, and it's x minus 5. Our whole secant is going to be x minus 2. How did I get that? Look at it like this, right? I got to add the 3 and the x minus 5. 3, let me do it up here. 3 plus x minus 5 is x minus 2, right? When you combine those like terms, you're going to get that minus 2. The external secant here is 4. And the whole secant is 10. 6 plus 4 is 10. Alrighty, there is our formula. ES times WS equals ES times WS. So we will get x minus 5 times x minus 2 equals 4 times 10. On the left side, we're going to have to FOIL this out. We get x squared minus 2x minus 5x plus 10 equals, and then on the right side of the equation, we will get 40. Combine the like terms. X squared minus 7x plus 10 equals 40. Subtract 40 from both sides. We get x squared minus 7x minus 30 equals 0. Now we got a factor, and again, the reason we have to do all this is because we're dealing with a quadratic equation. So two factors that multiply to negative 30 and add up to negative 7, negative 10 and 3. So x equals 10 and x equals negative 3. We will reject the negative, so that means x equals 10. So to find TS, TS is equivalent to x minus 5. So that's going to be 10 minus 5. So therefore, TS equals 5. Final answer. All right. I hope this video helps. Have a good night.